it's alright. Doesn't matter. You're not so much disturbing.
Very. See, it is very intermittent. It's not.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't disturb anybody.
पूरा close कर देना. ऊपर से. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are back to all of you with our online program for this afternoon. And I'm Colonel Ashokan, and with me is Colonel DJS Chahal. So we would be today answering most of your questions today. And right now we have a guest for us, a guest of honor. He is the new face in our role of honor of Olive Greens, Mohit Sharma. Mohit, would you kindly join us? Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Great having you here. So it's an honor that you are here with us today.
Yes, sir.
And also wearing our small token.
Yes, sir.
Mohit, you'll have to move in a little bit because I think
Yes.
you're not in the frame right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That's
now
all.
probably
Now it's
is
all
in the
right.
frame, no?
Yeah.
So Mohit, since you are already in the Air Force, you know what is all about Air Force.
Yes, sir.
But we would like to ask you today, in fact for the audience also,
Yes, sir.
what was your experience of the SSB,
Yes,
and how our training, Olive Greens training, has helped you undergo that
Yes, sir.
with a lot of confidence and clarity?
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to thank all of you, sir, for your
Speak
guidance.
louder so everybody can hear you.
First of all, I would like to thank all of the instructors and assessors of the Olive Greens, and the experience at Olive Greens helped me a lot. Actually, it was my first attempt, and I was not aware of the SSB program. What are the activities that are held there? So, for general briefing also to get to know the whole procedure, and apart from that, the coaching or the training program at SSB Olive Greens helped me to project my real personality there. So all the assessors, SAID, psychologist or interviewing officer, helped me to put my actual personality project there, and also guided me what are the points that I need to improve also. So in that way, I would like to thank Olive Greens once again.
You should also give a little bit of advice of, especially for service entry candidates, that how should their preparation go, and what is it that they should focus more on, because that's very, very important,
Yes, sir.
especially for the service entry candidates.
For service entry candidates, I would like to say that first of all, you have to improve your trade knowledge. Whatever systems you are working on, you should be very clear and crisp about the system, because the assessor will come to know that if you are not aware of your system itself, then how will he judge you?
Very true.
So first of all, be perfect in your system, and apart from that, try to learn from your seniors. And also try to see yourself in the clothes of your senior or an ideal officer you want to become.
That's so important.
So that will help you. Try to learn every positive things from your seniors. And for service entry candidates, defense knowledge is also expected to be a certain level. So you should try to know about the recent developments in defense area also.
You have been asked in the interview some defense related questions.
Yes, sir. Actually, I am currently posted to Wing Pune.
Mhm.
So Pune has 2 squadrons of Su-30. So I was asked about Su-30, sir.
You could be able to give
Yes,
good
sir.
answers.
I gave him satisfactory answers.
So, could you tell me how Olive Greens you found, really helped you in your performance there?
Yes, sir. Olive Greens, I would say that it did not try to change my personality.
Absolutely.
It just boosted my. Actually, I was low on confidence when I came here. Actually, I came in March here.
This is your first experience.
It was my first experience, and after the guidance program, I had 4 to 5 months with me. So whatever the assessors told me, I implemented those
In
things.
fact,
in my
that is
personality.
a very important thing to do, that you
Yes.
have enough time after the 2-week program is over, so that you're able to work on the feedback that you get here, है ना?
This
People
is
who come
very
towards the
important.
end, उसके पास उतना ही time कम मिलेगा उसको to work on himself.
So this is one thing, Mohit, you did very well because you came to Olive Greens, understood about yourself.
Yes, sir.
You could, it's like looking at a mirror which can see through you, and you understood what are your strengths which you are happy enough, but then how you could polish that also.
Yes, sir.
And you could identify the areas of improvement in your personality. This is exactly what we keep telling everybody here, whoever is listening to us, so that you can work on your areas of improvement in the coming days.
Yes, sir.
And how you worked on your areas of improvement, and how did you identify your areas of improvement? Which were those
Like you
areas?
said that you were low on confidence.
Yes, sir.
So what did you do when you go back?
Actually, sir, I was not able to address the group or
Yeah.
project my whatever I was thinking. I was thinking right, but I was not able.
You
to
were little shy. Yeah? We
I
also
was-
felt that.
I was not able to put that into words.
Right.
But actually, there are many GD are conducted here, many live
Right.
interaction with, and I would like to add one more point. I was in hostel, so environment at hostel is very good also.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Vijay sir also conduct night classes there.
Wonderful.
So that experience also helped me to get bonding with the other colleagues, and the bonding that I made in hostel got reflected in classes here, and
Right.
due to which I built.
As also a lot of practice happened even in the evenings when you went back,
Yes, sir.
and that also
Yes, sir.
would
And
have
I
added on.
after going from here, I started making group of friends in front of whom I would narrate
Speak
my
up,
I would
right.
speak, and
Right.
in front of mirror also.
Great.
So these practices helped me.
And on these online sessions afterwards, you've been attending?
Yes, sir. I watch your Q&A session every Friday.
Okay,
that
that's
is
really
also-
great.
That kept me in touch with the.
That's really great. That's
Very
wonderful
nice.
to know that. So-
Great. Super.
So, I would like to ask you one more thing. That how important was the general awareness part in your preparation?
Yes, sir. General awareness is very important in GDO. Actually, when first GD and second GD is conducted.
What was your
So,
GD topics?
My first GD topic was One Nation, One Election.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there were 3 leads. It would help in governance or cost effective, and one more lead was there. So I was reading this topic in details. So I was able to give 4 to 5 points
That's
in
very important.
GD.
Mhm.
And the second topic was artificial intelligence. So 3 to 4 days before SSB, I was reading a journal on this topic also. So
Okay.
that also helped.
You got
me a lot.
lucky.
And general awareness part is also helpful in interview also, sir. Because after some time, interviewing officer asks you about general awareness or general knowledge. So I gave satisfactory answers to that.
And your lecture topic, what was that?
Sir, I don't remember other 3 topics,
So,
but I spoke on discipline, sir.
Okay.
It was discipline.
Okay, great, wonderful.
Very nice.
Questions?
Perfect. So we are very, very happy for you, and we wish you so much luck that you continue to make us feel proud, right, Mohit? So
Yes,
all
sir.
the best, and whenever that you're passing by, whenever you're coming to Chandigarh, you know that Olive Greens is your home.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank
God
you.
bless you, and take care.
God
Thank you,
bless,
sir.
and
Thank
be
you once
a
again.
Air Force
Bye.
officer, everybody would emulate.
Thank you, sir.
Okay?
God bless.
God bless. Okay. So that is Mohit, ladies and gentlemen, and we are on to our normal programs. We would like to see now your question
We
answers
have
also.
a couple of questions. Ayush has said Jayant Saab, and
Yes.
Jatin also said Jayant Saab.
So-
So we are waiting for some questions from your side. So Jayant, to both of you. So all of you, we will feel very happy if you are more interactive, if you ask us questions, so that then this interaction becomes more useful actually. Otherwise, I mean, we'll keep speaking from whatever that we feel is relevant. But sometimes you have those small doubts which during the SSB you feel that ये पता नहीं था, वो पता नहीं था. When you come back, you sometimes tell us. So it is good to clarify your mind on every small thing that you have a doubt about. So that is why we are here. So please feel free to ask any kind of questions, anything to do with the SSB.
See, the last 2 weeks, after the NDA results have come, we are flooded with, calls, and we are flooded with parents speaking to us. And in this coming 1-2 months are going to be very, very busy for all of us. And now we are scheduling the training in a proper manner. So while we interact with many parents, we understand one thing, that conditioning what is happening from the childhood today is somewhere little bit, a point of question, because we all know the influx of internet and influx of the multimedia in the lives of children. There is lot many things to be done on the foundation part of it. What do you think about it?
Very, very important, because it is, parents are actually the first guides, the first gurus. They every day they are whatever that they do, the child is imbibing that. So a lot of time when we say that our child should be doing this and that, we should actually be living that. The best way to teach a child is to physically demonstrate what you want your child to do. If you respect your parents, as parents, if you respect your parents, your child is going to respect you a lot or love you a lot. So it's very, very important that whatever attributes, whatever characteristics that we want a child to have, the parents must physically kind of live those attributes. And in fact, we were discussing those two issues that you
Yes.
talked about, experiences from the SSB, where Colonel Shokan came across two different ends of the spectrum. One which, because of parenting, the child kind of gave up on everything, and on the other extreme, the grooming of the parents made this child fight out against all odds.
This is very interesting. We were discussing, I was discussing this same point with Colonel Chair. You see, this is a personal experience what we shared in the SSB. When I was in 11 SSB as a senior GTO there, and we were team there, what happened once is, there was a boy who was found introvert and mostly exhibiting negative vibes, not coming out of his shell. And I could see after the assessment and all, this boy has got tremendous potential, but he is going under tremendous pressure.
The question is going to go off, so in between we can keep
Ha,
answering
ha,
these
please,
questions
please,
also.
sir. Let's
So I
stop
quickly
this.
answer top
Then we
two
can
questions,
come
then
back
we'll
on
continue
it.
with the story.
Yes.
Now Dhruv has asked that if in case he is unable to complete the story during PPDT,
Yeah.
so during the discussion part, can I complete it? So in fact, Dhruv, we told earlier also, it's very important that you should kind of improve the story that you wrote. I mean, you don't have to change the central idea of the story, but whatever time that you get after you've written the story and before you come back for the discussion, you must revise and rehearse and maybe slightly improve your story in terms of adding something that you could have added and you did not because of shortage of time. So there's nothing wrong with that if you improve the story during the narration. You don't have to go verbatim what you wrote. The central idea must remain the same, but you can always rehearse and speak up a story which is better than what you wrote. But don't change the story. That is very, very important. It could be the same story, but you must rehearse it and you can complete it in, let's say, you could not write the conclusion part, the outcome part of your story. While narrating, you can always complete it. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think we will move away with the questions, because there are so many questions
Yeah,
coming.
they can keep coming up.
So
otherwise.
Jatin has got a question about
Yeah.
the group discussion. What is most important in a group discussion? Now, you see, group discussion, as you are aware of, there are three options for you to discuss, and you don't have to come to a conclusion in the group discussions. Not like PPTT discussion. Your real group discussion in the GTO series is different. This is the major difference. So what is most important is not telling what you want to think, what you think about it, but at the same time formulate your answers or formulate your argument to suit the three viewpoints given to you. So you have to select one of the viewpoints given by the GTO, which we call leads. One of the leads you must home on to and formulate certain good points about it. And also, it is not only giving the points, but substantiate the points with certain logic. Also substantiate your statement with some statistics, some logical conclusions which you have come up, something come up from your experience, you can add on to that. But it should be relevant. You should not move away from the topic, and at the same time you should not be dominating the group also. You should be able to listen to others also and give them space to speak about their own points. You should not be seen that you are rubbing your point, against everybody else and not giving enough space.
Yeah. So what Colonel Shokan has just said, adding on to that, since you asked that, should we speak whatever that we know about it, or should we be selective and make only useful contributions? So to tell you, Jatan, it is very important to make contributions which are meaningful. I mean, for the sake of speaking, don't keep speaking, because then there are 10 people who are to participate in this discussion. If you are going on speaking and not giving space to others, that may go against you. So it is important that whenever that you make an attempt or endeavor to speak, it should be such a meaningful point that create a good impact on everybody, and it should be very relevant to the topic given to you. A lot of people feel that I've spoken a lot, but they many times are not relevant to the topic. For example, if let's say there is a topic about what is it that the country must do so that we can go to the next level. So what is it that is stopping the country from reaching the next level? Let's say, is it corruption? Is it overpopulation? इस तरह के कुछ leads हैं. Now let's say if you have chosen one of these leads, let's say you've chosen that corruption is a thing which is preventing the country to move to the next level. So in which case, for some time the candidates will give how corruption is preventing the country from doing better, or how it is preventing foreign investments or genuine startups to flourish in the country. So initially they'll give some points to support that, but slowly they've moved to talking about how corruption can be stopped. Now you must understand that is not what the topic was. The topic is not how can we stop corruption. The topic is how is corruption preventing the country from doing better. So in which case you may speak a lot, but what the assessor is going to write down in his recording is that the candidate spoke away from the topic, or the candidate spoke irrelevant to the topic. So you must never lose sight of what the topic is, and firstly be very, very relevant, and second is whatever points that you make should be real impactful points. Don't speak just for the sake of speaking. That will only add to the clutter. So be very careful with that.
And you don't have to home on to a conclusion also. Please remember that. You have to be forthwith and give your point with some relevant logic behind it, and also listen to others. Don't try to snub the others out. Okay, no, you are wrong, I am right. There is nothing called judgmental about your points. You have to be giving your viewpoint and also understand others' points also, and give room space for everybody to speak. That is all about JD. At the same time, when you start listening to others also, you may get certain new points which you can add on to emphasize that your point could be more logical also. You can even connect other viewpoints also together, but don't try to contradict other people, or don't contradict yourself later. Don't try to change your viewpoint at all also.
Absolutely. Another thing which Anil has asked, a very, very pertinent question, that before coming for training at Olive Greens Institute, how should I prepare myself? So that is actually a very, very important thing, because a lot of people, very relevant, because a lot of people join us and then they realize that my awareness level is not too good, sir. Absolutely. I cannot participate very effectively in a GD, or lecturate mein mere ko I have hesitation because of lack of knowledge. So if you were better prepared, naturally you can gain more from this training, and if you are better prepared, you will be able to also prepare a better action plan for yourself, that when I get back from here after I have taken all this, how can I use this feedback which we will give you to work on yourself after the 2-week program is over. So what I would recommend to you, Anil, is, and to all of those who are coming to Olive Greens, that it's very, very important to primarily focus on 3 things. One is your awareness level, which is the most important thing, because unless you are aware, you will not be able to participate, and when you can't participate, then naturally you can't make the most of this training. So it is very important for you to be well informed. So uske liye kya karo, last 3 odd months ka jo major events hain, in fact you can prepare a couple of yawners. For example, you can have a yawner of international events, national events, maybe sports, abhi Olympics hua tha, sports, then environment. ऐसे करके 3, 4, 5 yawners बना लो, और हर एक के नीचे look at those relevant topics which are presently in news. और पिछले 3 महीने के such topics if you come prepared with, you will feel that you will be able to participate effectively in the activities that happen here. Second very very important thing again is your ability to express your ideas. A lot of people have knowledge, but like this boy was saying right now, that I was shy to speak up. So it is very important that you are able to effectively convey your mind to other people. I mean, some people do have an issue with spoken English. Don't worry, you can even speak in a mix of Hindi and English, so long as the content is good and you are able to make valuable contributions. You can still speak in a mix of Hindi and English, not a big deal. But what is more important is that you should be able to have proper flow of thoughts. When you speak, there should be a lot of sense in what you are speaking. So second thing that we would tell you is to work on your verbal expression. उसके लिए आप maybe newspaper loudly पढ़ो, कोई मॉक लेक्चर्स दो शीशे के सामने खड़े होके, एवरी डे प्रिपेयर सम टॉपिक एंड स्पीक ऑन दैट. मे बी यू कैन हैव योर पेरेंट्स योर फ्रेंड्स, उनको बिठा दो, उनको कोई चीज़ के बारे में बात करो, या यू कैन इवन फॉर्म अ स्मॉल ग्रुप ऑफ 2-3 फ्रेंड्स ऑफ लाइक माइंडेड पीपल who are also preparing for something similar, and every day have a group discussion on some topic of importance that is going on around you. So the second thing is verbal expression, and the third is your writing skills. It's very important that you're able to put down your ideas in a systematic, organized manner on paper. Only then your psych dossier will be good. So psych is not about writing stories and making sentences. Psych is all about knowing you as a person, and so that you are able to project your attributes appropriately, so that you're able to put down your thoughts in an orderly manner. It is very very important for you to be able to express your thoughts clearly on paper as well. So every day do some creative writing. जो भी आपने दिन में कोई नया experience देखा, उसको put it on paper so that it helps you improve the flow of your ideas.
Yeah.
उसको maybe you can even काट पीट के improve भी कर सकते हो, है ना, कि
Yes.
इसको ऐसे sentence को change करके
How
लिख
do you
सकते हो.
translate your thoughts into words?
Very important, very important.
This is very very
So
important.
ये 3 चीज़ें basically we will want you to prepare your journal awareness, your public speaking skills and your writing skills. ये 3 चीजें आप करके आ जाओ. Rest you leave it to us. We will ensure that you do a good job in the end.
I may add on one more point
sure.
from my side.
Yeah, please.
You see, you are going to be a military leader. You are going to be a military commander in the making. So one more thing also you can start now is your physical and mental fitness.
Very very important.
Right.
Very important.
So you are having fantasy that you are wearing uniform and you are going for an attack for the enemy area and shooting and all this. But then think about your own physical fitness at the same time. Can you do at least 20-30 push-ups minimum? So this is minimum standards we look for, say 30 push-ups. Okay, now sit-ups. 30 sit-ups is the general standard we look for. General standard, we are not going to make you do 30 sit-ups. But then this is the general standards.
If you're doing that, you'll be able to do all the obstacles.
Absolutely right. And chin-ups also, which is important, because chin-ups, if you can do at least 5 to 6 chin-ups, then you will be able to do ropes very easily. You can climb a rope, because these days ropes have become universally applicable now. Earlier it was only for Air Force.
Even in the Army boards.
Yeah, Army and Navy. Now rope is also, it is common for all the obstacle courses of the 3 tri-services. Now this is also important, how physically fit you are.
Even go for a run.
Running also.
Yeah, running is very
because
important.
that is also important.
Yeah.
Stamina building.
Absolutely.
So if you are ready to go as a armed force officer before coming for our training program, like what Colonel Chahal was saying, please insist on yourself to improve your general awareness, your communication skill, and thirdly your physical and mental fitness. Mental fitness also means your confidence level to build up and remain less stressful. Remain stress free in life. How do you do that? By having better knowledge, having better confidence level to meet people, talk to people. Now what is the main problem we find these days is, because of the influx of multimedia around you, most of the candidates we find are very comfortable online. The moment they come to speaking to people,
they are shy,
their social graces is very poor. They are not able to.
In fact, आज ही सुबह I was thinking about one point that a lot of us write big messages, especially birthday messages, anniversary messages. वो बंदा उसी घर में ही है, उसको उसको you just hug that person and give those wishes to them. वो नहीं एक लंबा सा message Facebook पे, I don't know for whom that message is. I mean the message is supposed to be for this person, whereas you're telling the world that I love this guy, but you won't tell him. Beats me.
You hug that person and say that. No, you have to show that you are loving that person to the whole world. It's like putting a notice board that I love this person, but you don't tell him personally. He is somewhere very close by to you.
Yeah, in the same room.
So this is another bad fallout of these COVID times, probably.
Actually,
We all got shrunk into our own shells. So this is also another problem. So please, this is a very relevant question.
This could be the fourth thing which they should be doing.
Absolutely
besides
right.
physical fitness, that you connect with people around you. Very important to interact.
Interpersonal
Interpersonal relations को improve करो. फैमिली में बैठो, पेरेंट्स से बात करो, रिश्तेदारों से करो, फ्रेंड्स के साथ इंटरैक्टिव रहो. Whenever you are out with a group, be the center stage there. Interact with everybody. In a party, move from one group to the other group and interact with a lot of people so that you are able to, shed that little shyness that you have about being interactive with others. Very important thing again.
Absolutely important. And another point which is added on, which is connected to the same thing only. See, now you people will be thinking, mostly youngsters think I can write down, I can write my thoughts. But
लिखते
then
time
what you write down is not enough. Because their vocabulary is very poor.
And the beat around the bush. एक sentence लिखने के लिए 3 लाइनें लिखनी पड़ेंगी. So unless you have clarity of thought and unless you are used to writing in a proper manner, unless there is flow in your thoughts, the expression that you put on paper will not be very, very good.
This is becoming a fashion nowadays. You would have seen that most of the youngsters write Punglish. What is Punjab? English mixed together, or Hinglish, Hindi mixed together. You see, it is basically, we in army used to call it Roman Hindi. Your Roman English.
I know.
So if you start, having this kind of language as your power of expression, now this is not enough. So please understand, in the SSB when you come, the expectation for us would be to write simple English with simple expressions, but conveying your thoughts properly. You should be able to translate your thoughts into words, and you should be fluent, as we have been discussing this one. And this is very, very important, because if you come to, even if you come here for training for 2 weeks time, that's not enough. Your foundation has to be strong. Unless your foundation is not strong, then the whole structure what we are trying to make is going to collapse.
Absolutely, it'll be weak. No doubt.
So let's go to the next question.
Next question.
Dhruv is saying how to prepare for lectures. Now it is a connection of what we have been discussing.
Absolutely.
Lecture 8, what is required again for lecture 8? One is your awareness. Second is your power of expression, how you can speak your thoughts out. And third is time management. Right. So you need to speak for 3 minutes time. There are 4 topics given to you. Out of these 4 topics, you have to select one topic, and then you have to prepare this topic in 3 minutes time, and then you have to speak for 3 minutes time. Now the challenge would be how to prepare your topic within 3 minutes, which needs some kind of practice also, and some kind of fluency in language also.
As also formatting.
Formatting also. So we could give you a very simple formatting, since this is a major problem with everybody.
And they'll be practicing also, so probably you can practice as per the format which
I can give you a simple format, which is the most interesting thing here, because you have 3 minutes time. So first you should understand 3 minutes means how much sentences you can speak, because there is no watch for you there. Okay, so in 1 minute, if you look at the watch, you will be able to find you can speak 10 sentences, which means in 3 minutes time you can speak 30 sentences. Now how we would divide these 30 sentences into your time management and your time plan. First 1 minute you can speak introduction of the topic, which means 1 minute means 10 sentences. So in your introduction of the topic, you can speak, say, general description, and you can say background probably.
And what are you going to talk about?
Yes, and brief history.
Yeah.
Then if definitions, if you know something, you can add on to that. So it is generally what is the topic all about. You can speak for 1 minute time, which means around 10 sentences. So you will know, you will be able to calculate how I have finished with 10 sentences. Now the second part of your discussion or your lecture would be 1.5 minutes time. So 1.5 minutes means 15 odd sentences, right? Now in these 15 sentences, you can speak merits around 7-8 sentences and demerits of the topic for the next 7 sentences, because it's a maybe very big topic, but then we will categorize them into parts.
It will also depend on the type of topic.
So
some topic I just got reminded. Got reminded of one boy who was speaking on AIDS. So when we gave him this format, so he spoke. He says demerits, and then he says merits. Then he looked at me, sir. I don't think so. There are any merits. So please be careful with that.
We will cover that portion also, so that you don't get confused now, right? So second part, mostly these are for positive topics where there are merits and demerits. Now the last half minute, you will get a bell within that time. 2.5 minutes you will get a bell. So for the next half minute would be, which is 5 sentences, you give a conclusion. Now what is a conclusion? Conclusion would be what you think about that topic, your own opinion about the topic. Now what Colonel Chahal has told, if there is a topic like AIDS or COVID also got hardly any merits.
Environment. Kahiyon pe you'll have to talk about causes, effects and remedies.
Yes. So these kind of negative topics, if you have been selecting, you can speak instead of merits and demerits, which is the middle portion of the topic. Say this 1.5 minutes ka jo portion hai, part 2 hai, you can speak causes, effects and remedies, so that your portion can be covered nicely. Like for this AIDS only, there are causes, there is an effect which happen in the world, and remedies.
Yeah.
Also, maybe there is one more format you may sometimes you may like to add, that is, for suppose say you are describing a personality, say you're talking about Mahatma Gandhi or any other Nelson Mandela, any renowned personality. So this topic, these these parts are not relevant. Then you can speak about that person, his achievements, certain incidents happen in his life, what is the personality came out from that incidents, and what are the personalities you admire as a model.
Absolutely.
Role model in your life. So that's the kind of thing you can speak.
Yeah.
Now, is there any other questions?
Yeah, there is another one. Jatin is asking that
Same
in case,
same
yeah. So in case there is a question which you are not very familiar with, or you cannot answer very well during the interview, how should you handle it, or what should you do so that you do not give a bad impact? Now, Jatin, whatever question that you've been asked about which you have some information, it will be a good idea to speak as much as you know about that subject, and then tell the interviewing officer that, sir, right now I am aware only this much about this. However, I will find out and let you know later. So there is no harm in at least giving out as much as you know, unless there is a pinpoint question like falane jagah ka capital batao, to then either you know it or you don't know it. In a case like that, you could say, sir, I am afraid I am not very sure of it right now. I will find out and let you know. And then do find out, because you may be asked during the board conference about that question. So whatever, as much that you know, utna bata do. Baki bol do ke I will find out and let you know, because I am not aware so much.
Please don't bluff.
Yeah.
Please don't bluff.
Jitna pata hai, utna batao.
Don't try to beat around the bush, and don't bluff also.
Yeah.
That's also important.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
So I think they've got it.
So before the next question
comes, you can continue with your story.
Otherwise, bhul jayenge. You see, I was talking about this boy. So we found, in fact, we discussed among some GTOs also. This boy looks pretty stressed up, and he's hardly coming out from this shell. Though we knew he had better potentials. But then what happened is the most important thing. The day one day earlier, the conference day, that is GTO series, both the series are finished now. His interview finished, his psychology day finished. Yeah. And all the youngsters, all the candidates have gone on out pass that day. This boy never came back. So we called the group. We questioned the group, where you people have gone together, you could not look after each other, where is your group gone? You should have taken care of your group. So all these things happened. But this boy was missing. Nobody knew where he was. Whole night search party went around and searched the whole place. Most of them said that he was last seen in the Sangam.
Yeah.
This is Allahabad, as you know. वो जो त्रिवेणी संगम पे उनको last मिला था. So naturally we took out boats from the nearby all sources. Police involved. We started searching in the waters. Whole night we were searching. We informed the parents by the time. Parents reached up by morning. And as a tragedy, we found his body around 5-6 kilometers down the river. Want to even say he was in a bad situation that way. And body was found. So, with the parents' permission and all, we were, as a case study, we were going into his details. We found a diary in his, possession, in his box. So we were going through that diary, and that's the time a very interesting thing. It's a very, very tragic thing rather came out. He has written in the last 2-3 pages that I don't want to go back. And
if I'm not recommended,
something recommended, like that, I don't want to go back and face my father again, because he is been humiliating me in front of the complete family. Wherever he get a chance, he used to humiliate me because he always says I am a loser. Because his brother, younger brother, he is an achiever. He's been always having gold medal and multi-personality, and he has been an achiever everywhere. So this father had a habit of humiliating this boy in front of the family. Any kind of functions, he will bring him out and start comparing each other. And that was really going deep into his psyche. It probably made a huge wound in his psyche. So this boy was saying, if I am not going to make it this time, I think it is the 4th time he was coming for SSB. He wrote, I will not go back. So
it was a lesson for the parents now, actually.
Yes. Yeah. So idea why we were telling all this point, because conditioning happening at home, that is also very important. Every child cannot be an achiever in life. So
every child is an achiever, but in a different way.
A different way.
Each child has its own. Yeah, each person has his own strengths and weaknesses. I mean, we can't never compare two people.
Absolutely right.
Each person is unique. God has made us like that.
So this is a pointer for the parents also, that parents should not be trying to humiliate the child in front of others. So conditioning happening at home and surroundings is going to have a huge impact on the personality and character of the child, because this boy should have become something different probably, but then he's been forced to go for SSB all the while.
Parents, teachers, they all have to be enablers. They cannot be ever pulling a child down. They always have to bring out the best out of him. I mean, he is so and so. If this is not his strength, there is another strength that all of us should look for in that child and make sure that he excels in that. So we have to be encouraging. We have to be acting as enablers. That is very, very important.
Now we will tell you the other story, which is a very positive note is going to end. This is also a story we were discussing today. It is two contrasts. There was a girl in our own batches. So this girl, I found when she was doing individual obstacle tasks, she was limping. She could do 2 to 3. After that,
but she never gave up. She never
gave up.
She never said कि मैं नहीं कर सकती.
Yes, she was limping and she still was going ahead. So I stopped her because she was suffering. She was having some bruise in her leg. So I asked her, what happened to you? Did you have an accident or something? And she gave me, yes sir, I'm okay sir, I'll try and manage. She was not telling me exactly what has happened, though there was no time to ask all these things for the GTO in any case. So but at the same time I noticed there were certain bruises in her body, certain scratches on her body. So I thought probably she has come out from an accident, some kind of trauma. But the same question probably the interviewing officer also asked her. An interviewing officer probably could probe more into her personality, and she came out with an astonishing story. Came out with a very daring, I should say, very courageous story, that she is an army officer's daughter. That is what I understood that time. And while she was coming from some birthday party, got a little late. She was coming on her scooty. She was waylaid in a little jungle area where there was nobody. It was a deserted place. She was waylaid, and 2 guys with helmets, because she could not see their faces. They pulled her into a bush and started molesting her. Almost, they started, pulling her clothes, and it was very bad scene. This girl, it seems, she somehow managed to take a huge stone and hit these two guys on their heads. And in the commotion, she ran off from that place, but after a real fight.
Yeah.
So, this could happen, this kind of trauma can happen to anybody, but the most important point I want to tell you today is this happened just 1 week before the SSB interview. And she had come in spite of the trauma, in spite of that kind of, setback, a shocking incident happened in her life. She could amass herself, she could gather her courage, and she had come for SSB, and she was doing extremely well,
Yes.
except for the physical part.
Yeah.
She was doing extremely well.
Amazing.
And this case was discussed in our conference day, and we all were discussing this point, and it was such a emotional point that we said this is the kind of girls we would like to have in the armed forces. And we cleared her with the topmost kind of merit. And I understand she came second or third in the All India merit afterwards.
Amazing.
So now how do we were discussing this point, because how this girl amassed this kind of courage, presence of mind, and that fighting spirit, and still come for SSB and give a great performance,
Yeah.
is again conditioning by the parents,
Very true.
because both have come through two different situations.
Absolutely.
The youngsters are the same,
Absolutely. So
but
it really
parentage and conditioning happens in their
Matters a
life,
lot.
matters a lot.
Absolutely.
That gives the foundation of personality.
Very true.
This is very, very important.
Very
to
important.
understand. So I would like some parents also to, please see this narration of these two incidents, and please try to help the children to find their own tracks in life. Don't push them into what they don't want to do in their lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Very true.
It's very, very important.
Absolutely.
Is there any questions? Then we
Yeah,
can-
so if there are any more questions, otherwise in about 5 minutes time we'll call it off. So anything that you wish to ask, I mean you got too engrossed in our stories, I guess, so you stopped asking questions. So you can please ask anything else that you wish to before
there is a question.
Yeah, there is a question.
So he says got detained in class 11th and had to repeat it because of that time. Got engaged in play PUBG. So, and I was involved in playing games. Yes,
Completed
72%.
DSC with 72%.
So you see, definitely when we find little gaps in your performance, in your PIQ, we would definitely like to ask this question. Interviewing officer may ask you this question: what happened? There is a little bit of gap or little drop of performance.
Yeah.
Then you pulled up. So you don't have to tell a lie that time. You can even say probably that I got involved in a lot of games and sports and all. Don't say that you got diverted from your studies and all. You don't have to be very too much of explanation is not required. But probably what we would like to see is, have you bounced back?
Yeah, the major reason for the interviewing officer wanting to know why was there a drop in performance, or why were you detained, or why you could not clear it in one go, is primarily because he wants to see that did you get off the track, and because your bread and butter was studying and doing well for yourself. So did you waste your time? Did you get involved in bad company? So it is very important for you to give an answer which firstly doesn't look like an excuse. It is always good to admit, but at the same time you got to give a socially desirable response. You should not sound as if you wasted your time and baad mein you realize.
But he is also a national player in skating.
The point I'm saying
Same
is,
point.
I know, but when you are speaking, you should not, it will sound like an excuse, sir, I was doing this, I was doing that. So no harm in admitting it. It is good to admit that you could have been more careful in your time management, and you could always say, sir, I was very passionate and so playing so and so game, I got involved with that, and we used to have our camps where I went, and it took away a lot of my time, because of which my studies suffered, and I lagged behind. So I should have been more careful. Hindsight, when I look at it, I should have managed my time better. So it is good to give an answer which is reasonable, rather than sounding as if you're giving an excuse.
You are defending yourself.
Yeah. As also avoid talking about PUBG and all, because that I don't think so is of much
relevance
and much value. it doesn't make any value addition to your life much. So it is good to talk about some sporting event that you activity that
he
you
is a
participate.
national player in skating. He can speak about it.
Yeah.
So you have done something in national level also. So you are an achiever in sports for that matter. But at the same time, you can don't say that just because I have been playing because I lost my marks.
Which is not.
You could have said yes, I could have done much better.
Yeah.
However, I realized and I have.
And then you can say bounce back. And then in my graduation, I did pretty well. I focused on my studies, vagera. Then, like you said, that you got eventually good marks.
So don't bother, don't worry about this particular point. This is not exactly where we are going to pull you down. Overall, what personality you are going to present, what are you today, and how you have lived your life till today. Setbacks everybody goes through, nobody is perfect in this world. So we also understand this. But how you have bounced back, what are you right now? Have you understood that yes, I could have done better, and we feel that you will not repeat it again?
Yeah, you can maybe form an answer and we could discuss it another time.
Yeah.
So whatever the way you're going to handle this question, you can prepare an answer for yourself and one could discuss it again.
So that's not a point.
Yeah.
So you can come for a training program, Anil. So that is also important. Like you see, you're going for FCAT again. You just cleared FCAT. So Anil, you should come for a proper training program. That's what I feel like, because you got potential, I find, and you can.
We could discuss this that time also.
Yes. That's how you can be really going with the right kind of confidence for SSB. Right.
Any other questions? Anyone? Please ask.
So I think next 4-5 minutes.
Yeah. If there are no questions, then we can call it.
Yeah.
off.
So so in a nutshell, what today we were trying to tell you is now since that so many youngsters are planning to do training with us, so we are expecting a lot of boys and girls are preparing now to come for our training and then go for the SSB. Please work on the foundations which we just been discussing, your general awareness, your communication skill, your physical fitness to a certain extent, and if you feel you are overweight or obese to some extent, please work on it, because later what will happen, even if you clear SSB, you have to go for medicals, and there if you are overweight, then it become a stressful thing, because then we will give you 42 days for re-medical, and imagine you have to reduce 15-20 kg in re-medical. It will be very difficult for you. So it is good for you to start working on your physical fitness, tune up yourself, and also work on your awareness. And when I talk about awareness, what you can do, please start reading newspapers and magazines, because general knowledge and current affairs go glowing glove. But now the world is, like a kaleidoscope, fastly changing. Now you would have seen the whole world is anxiously waiting for what is going to happen between Israel and Iran. Now Iran has 180 missiles they have sent 2 days before, out of which 2-3 also entered in the target. Their airfield has been damaged to a little extent, not much. But for now Israel, it is definitely they are going to retaliate, which is already been told by the Prime Minister also. So the whole world is looking now what is going to happen.
Oil prices already shot up.
Yes.
Because of the
not only that, even the economical, the
naturally it will have an effect
sensex,
on the
everything. Yes, the economic world has been now worried. Oil prices are shot up as it is, you said, and Iran can have a say on the complete, petrochemicals.
30% of the world oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes.
So
yes.
that Iran has
complete
control over that. So the Gulf of Oman, if that is sealed, absolutely. If that is sealed, it will be a major issue for the world.
So there was a lot of analysis and interpretations happening.
In fact, today
now.
morning, another very important news which has come out is about the Chagos Islands, which are being handed over by UK to Mauritius.
Yes.
And there's a very, very important, strategically important outpost of US there in Diego Garcia.
Yes.
So so it has, you know, a lot of
It has got a lot of relevance.
I mean, if that goes away and China comes and sits there, it has
it's
an effect for
Yes, archipelago. Then it
the
is
entire
very
Indian
important.
Ocean will have you know, different configurations.
Yes, India has got a lot of relevance in this particular thing, I
Absolutely.
think.
So you must read about all these.
This is a very, very clamorous period in the whole world, scenario happening around. Please go through all these things, because in the coming SSB and all, maybe this could be one of the group discussion topics. It could be a lecture topic also. Many times it could be discussed by the interviewing officer also. Not only because of that reason, as a officer candidate, you should be knowing the world affairs. This is very important.
Yeah. So there is a question which about the marking system in the SSB. So you know, it is a little more intricate than what you think it is. So there is a question that, you know, during that very little short interaction during the board conference, how are the conference marks allotted? So you got to understand, it is not as simple as, you know, just giving some marks. There is nothing mathematical.
Yes.
Personality cannot be awarded marks in mathematical terms. So there is a way of doing it. So I mean, you need not worry about that. Your aim is to project yourself appropriately, so that you got to understand that there are no real marks which are given by any of the assessors, neither the GTO nor the interviewing officer nor the psychologist. They are evaluating you in terms of your personality attributes. We call them the OLQs. So you are rated at a particular scale, and based on the rating that you get, accordingly you will be given marks. Like in the calculus, you have some value being fed here and another value is in that table in front. So it is like that. So if your rating is higher in the OLQs, the marks will be more. If the rating is lower, the marks will be smaller. So, and then based on these marks that are being allotted by each of the assessors, the board conference marks are a percentage of that. So you just don't worry about that. Your aim is to do good, to give your best during the SSB and get recommended.
Just to, put a little, it's a lighter vein. You see, conference, we are just asking you 3-4 very formal questions. And it really doesn't really matter, because by the time you enter the conference hall, we already would have decided generally, are you a cleared candidate or not. Very rarely we have not decided, because your performance is already there with us. It's all in pen pictures. Before we call you into the conference hall, we already had seen through you. We already know you. So this conference time, just 3-4 questions is not at all relevant. It is not going to decide or make it or break it. However, if you are cleared by all the assessors,
If there is a borderline
yes,
case, he will be discussed.
yes.
And
So
then
if you are cleared by all the 3 assessors, then you will be getting slightly better conference marks. There is something like that. And if you are only cleared by 2 assessors, except the third one is not cleared to anybody, definitely you will be recommended. Mostly you will be recommended, but it may affect your final merit also. So this is a very intricate kind of system which we follow. You don't have to go into details into this. This much you should know. You have to have a holistic personality performance to be presented there. That is all you need to understand right now, isn't it?
absolutely.
So I think we will call it
Call
a
it
day.
a day. Yeah.
So we will.
Today we had a very good interaction.
Yes,
actually.
yes, yes.
A lot of questions came up.
So next week we happen to be again here, and I'm sure we can answer more questions from you, and we will be able to reach up to more of you. Okay.
Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to that interaction.
Thank you.
All the best. God bless.